Hello everyone and welcome back to a Gran Turismo time trial video where we're at Sardinia Layout B, the track that I tried before everybody else because it was at World Finals, which is great. Now we're in the brand new car there, the BMW Z4, and it's Layout B, if I didn't just say that, at Sardinia. Comfort soft tyres, and I put this difficulty in medium again. Some people will find it easy, some will find it hard. And the boat MW is what we're going to call this one because it does love a bit of understeer. Gold estimate around the 139.8, so I reckon if you get to that point, you should be fine for gold. But just keep that time in mind, it could come down even more. If you enjoy this video, as always, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. But without further ado, let me tell you how to get that gold time. Let me tell you how to get 2 million credits here in Gran Turismo 7. So we're going to head towards turn number 1 then, and on the right hand side we've got these boards here, but what I want you to look for is that red/orange painted barrier on the right hand side, the one just before the 100 board. It's a really obvious clear brake marker for turn number 1. Now I use this both on the pad and the wheel, and there is a pad/controller lap coming up shortly, and you can check out that timestamp down below. We're going to hit the brakes, brake in a straight line, stay in third gear, turn in later. You don't really want to go over the curbs in this car because it will cause the car to get unsettled. We accelerate out that corner, we turn left here. Now, I want you to go up to 4th gear when you start to feel a bit of understeer. What that will do with the gear delay that happens, because obviously it's a proper H-box, it'll allow the car to just turn in a bit more and you should get around the corner flat out. As we approach this left-hander here, we've got another painted barrier right there. That is your brake marker, and it's the same thing as turn number 1. I want you to brake in a straight line and turn in a little bit later than you feel. So notice how we're staying out wide. We're then going to come back in. The car rotates a little bit, and I accelerate in third gear as well. I don't go down to second. I stay in third gear. We accelerate out the corner, and on the left-hand side there, we have the start of the tyre wall. That start there is your brake mark for this right-hander. And again, it's a bit of a delayed turning, but not too much on this one because the corner is cambered. It will help you get around a little bit better. So you need to dab the brakes there and turn in. And I want you to try and get the speed down towards 60 miles an hour. And once you get to 60, I want you to start accelerating. And it should be in correlation at the same time as that windmill right there comes on your screen. It's the closest windmill to the circuit. So you can see here I'm full throttle because I knew exactly when it was going to happen. And then I can hit the accelerator because I've timed it with the 60 miles an hour. Continue on round there. Notice how the car remains fairly stable. If you do overturn this car, it will start to lose the rear end and you will suffer some oversteer and it will slow you down a lot on this time trial. We continue on through here. We head over towards the left-hand side, and this is where we have many brake markers. So on the far left, you've got the windmill there. You've got the end of the billboard on that left-hand side, or the dark grey into Armco on the right-hand side. Any of these brake markers are really useful, and it's a similar situation to all the other corners. I want you to brake in a straight line and turn in very late. Now, as we go through this corner, you want to clip the inside, but not turn in too early, and this is where a lot of my laps were invalidated. The blue is not track. The red and white curbing is track, and you can cut it a little bit too soon there on the exit, so just be careful. On the right side, then, we have the start of the tyre wall there. That is your brake marker for this left-hander. Same situation again. I know I'm repeating myself here. You want to brake in a straight line on the red and white curb in here and turn in later than you expect. You want to try and avoid hitting the curb. We clip it a little bit there, but notice how the car wiggled a little bit. That's because it unsettled it. Try and avoid hitting that bump too much and you should be absolutely fine. The end of the curb here is your turn-in marker. Now, you can do this corner flat out. However, if you get it wrong, you will start to understeer. So you may want to shift up to 4th gear very early or do a slight lift. Entirely up to you what you do in this situation. But even so, the end of the curb there, we start to turn in. Notice that. And we go to 4th gear and it's flat out there. But sometimes you will suffer a bit of understeer because you get it slightly wrong. The weight doesn't shift quite right. So just keep that in mind. So we've got this wall which ends and then starts again. So as it ends there on the right hand side, this is your brake marker for the final corner. Several ways you could do this corner. You could try and do it in 3rd gear, but you'll suffer a lot of oversteer. You could drop to 3rd gear and then go up to 4th gear or stay in 4th gear. Entirely your choice here. I stay in 4th gear on the wheel. I clipped the curb on the inside, which was not good. There, it did cost me a little bit of time, but I then continue on. You're probably going, Tid, just so down low in the revs. That's not going to work. It does because remember, you have the delay going from 3rd to 4th. It actually works out the same sort of time, but 4th is a bit more stable. Let's go into a pad lap then here, and this is what I did on the controller / pad, whatever you want to call this. And once again, on the right side, the orange painted barrier before the 100 board is when we hit the brakes. We turn in. We start to accelerate as once we hit the apex out the corner. We go over towards the right hand side. Now, the first sector is the worst part of this on the pad. I really did struggle versus my wheel time. So you can see my wheel time is not really getting away from me too much there. Red paint barrier there is your brake marker. Again, make sure you turn in very late here. We clip the inside and then we start to accelerate out of the corner. That corner there, the hardest part on the pad lap in my opinion. The tyre wall there on the left-hand side is your marker. We turn in. Notice I'm letting the car roll a little bit. Dab the brakes a bit more. 61 mile an hour there, but the windmill came on my screen, so I started to accelerate to get out of that corner. We continue on down now towards the second most difficult corner on this circuit, in my opinion. The right-hander up at the hill. So on the right side, great arm coach, probably your best bet here. Again, breaking the straight line, turning very late here. This corner a bit easier on the pad, if I'm honest with you, because you can sort of counter steer it a bit better. Make sure you stay on the red and white curbing. Start to the tyre wall on the right side. We're going to hit the brakes. We're going to turn in. Hopefully avoid the curb this time. That's better. That's much better. Notice how I didn't get the wiggle then, and therefore I can carry much more speed. End of the curb here is my turning marker, even on the pad. We're going to go to fourth gear, a little bit earlier than normal there, but again, I was suffering a bit of understeer, so we continue on. The end of the wall on the right side, there it is. We hit the brakes. Do we go to third gear? No, we stay in fourth gear on this particular lap. Look how stable it was on the pad. I did feel that last corner was so much easier on a pad compared to a wheel. No idea why. Maybe it's because I was overturning on the wheel. I don't know. But we head towards the line, and you can follow this ghost on the leaderboard. Just look for this time, a 1:38.0, and you will find that on the leaderboard. Follow the ghost, and you can compare lap to lap. Right, we're going to chase cam then. So remember, the red paint bar on the right side, we're going to hit the brakes right there. Brake in a straight line, start to release it. Once you get towards the inside, start accelerating quite early here in third gear. ABS is on weak for those wondering there. Continue through here and go over towards the left-hand side. And remember, go to fourth gear when you start to feel some understeer, or maybe even a bit of power oversteer, because then obviously the weight's shifting. Red painted barrier there. We're going to hit the brakes, turning very late here. 55 miles an hour is a bit of an apex speed you can aim for there. We continue on through. Head over towards the left-hand side. Arm cut on the left, it goes into a tyre wall. We're going to dab the brakes, we're going to turn in. We're aiming for 60 miles an hour here. Once we get to 60, we can start accelerating, or when you see that windmill right there appear on your screen. We continue on now down towards the very difficult right-hander. Make sure you don't understeer into that barrier on the right side. We saw Max Power do that in a Cosy a couple of weeks ago. So, on the left-hand side, or the right-hand side, whichever way we want to use, the windmill or the grey into Armco, we hit the brakes, we turn in. Notice we don't turn in too early. Look how close we are to invalidating a lap there, because the red and white curbing doesn't start straight away. Just be careful of that. Tyre wall on the right side, hit the brakes, turn in. Avoid hitting the curb if you can, because you notice there, the weird bump. You see the little wiggle in the car. I had to correct it. And then the end of the curb here, you turn in. Keep turning in. We're going to go up to fourth gear when we start to feel some understeer. We can do this flat out, or should be able to, but a slight lift, don't worry about it. End of the wall there, we're going to hit the brakes, turn in. Don't go over the curb here. It will cause a bit of an issue with the car. However, we managed to maintain that then, and we're going to head towards the line here. This is that 137.6. I can see a 137.2, 137.1 appearing on the leaderboards. We could even see 36s towards the end of this time trial, which is why the gold estimate is so low from me. How do you get to this point then? So you go to sport mode there, and the top right hand side, you got daily races there, and you got time trials there. What I want you to do is click time trials. You have the choice of the two time trials here. I'm going to click the Sardinia Road Track B. You can see the gold time there on that left-hand side. So it's a 140.3, so much higher than my estimate, but I reckon that's going to come down. And of course, those times are just based on the fastest lap. So just keep that in mind, the percentage of the fastest lap. You just enter then, and then have fun with the time trial. Remember, this is one of the fastest ways to earn 2 million credits. Yes, you get it after 2 weeks. However, if it only takes you 10 minutes, guess what? Fastest way you can get credits in Gran Turismo literally right now. If you did enjoy this video, as always, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel. Stay in touch with all the latest content. Again, you get to try the brand new car that's come to Gran Turismo 7. Now, if you don't know what has come to Gran Turismo 7, check out that patch video on the left-hand side. Alternatively, last week's time trial is on the right-hand side, or I may switch them around just to confuse you. And do check out those partners down below. A big thank you, as always, for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.